Rasmus Hojlund is on the verge of completing his move to Manchester United and becoming our new striker. But how will United play with Hojlund in our team? I've already done a deeper dive, a scouting report looking at all the strengths of Hojlund's game. But what we're going to do in this video is take what we learned there, apply it to what would probably be Manchester United's best starting 11 and start to look at the patterns of play and understand exactly how Hojlund will fit into Manchester United. So I think you'll enjoy this one. Now, I've done this twice already, and it seemed to be, well, it was well received. But if we can hit 6,000 likes in this video, we did 5,000 before, let's keep raising the bar as a community, see how high we can get. If we hit 6,000 likes in this video, I'll give away another home shirt. I've already given away 2 this month. I'll give away another one, and I will say every single time, no, this is not from the Mega Store. No, the Glazers get absolutely sweet FA from me or from any member of this community. Let's move on. And let's talk about this man. Because I really am mega excited to see what he can do in a Manchester United shirt. I've sort of explained it to you before. My favourite types of signings are those with potential. Those that have talent. They're not quite world stars yet. But if they use Manchester United correctly in the platform of Old Trafford, they can become stars. Rooney, Ronaldo, so many others. They're my favourite types of signings. Now, we've already done this video, taking a look at all the strengths and the weaknesses of... I say weaknesses, just parts of his game that he will probably have to work on and improve rather than being weaknesses. So what I'm going to do now is apply that to the formation. And I've gone for this. Onana in goal with Martinez and Varane, Wan-Bissaka and Shaw as the 2 fullbacks, a midfield trio of Casemiro, Mount and Bruno. And a front trio, I'm probably going to put Anthony over there on the right-hand side instead of Sancho. And I'll speak about Sancho in a bit, actually, because he's quite important, actually. Anthony on the right-hand side. I'm probably going to put that as the best starting 11 for Manchester United with Hojlund in. Now, you can see here, Hojlund, I don't have ahead of the strikers. Hojlund have actually got more in that little false 9 position that Jadon Sancho has been operating in. And I'll be honest, I think that's something that we could probably see quite a lot this season. And I'll explain exactly why now. We go back to look at the strengths of Hojlund's game, right? And the first one that jumps out is pace. Now, pace isn't everything in football, but if you have it as an attacker, it adds a new level of dynamism and sort of unpredictability, and it makes it far more difficult for you to be defended against. Now, I've sort of ran through all the examples. He runs his 100 metres in sub 11 seconds. So, Hojlund operating in these positions here, I think will give a massive ability for Manchester United to do this. Right, let's get that nice and yellow. Let's get that circle up. So, if Hojlund receives the ball in these positions, and this is something he did extremely well at Atalanta. At Atalanta, they played with 2 up top. They played with wing-backs. And Hojlund was never really the sort of number 9 up there. Don't expect him to play in that position really too much at United. Like up there, staying in the box and waiting for crosses to come in. He's not going to be that type of striker, right? He will, in my opinion, drop a little bit deeper, which is maybe why Erik Ten Hag has been using Jadon Sancho in that role so prevalently in pre-season. But by doing exactly that, it means that the ball can be fed into Hojlund, and then the balls can then be fed out to Rashford on the left, Anthony on the right. Hojlund can do that, ball outside, then run, follow it in, right? And that's exactly what this example shows here, right? Let me pull this up for you. This is a perfect example of the ball going wide. Hojlund's in the middle. You can't even see him. He's just a little yellow circle that's just off screen. And within a few seconds, bang, 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 ball in the middle, simple tapping goal. That's because the ball has been played out wide. So say if that was Marcus Rashford, for example, Hojlund's there. He's already received the ball, turned. It wouldn't be him that might be him to pass it out there. But look how quickly he can get in the middle. And that's why it strikes me that Hojlund might be operating a little bit deeper than our wingers. So that's definitely something to watch out for. And you know something else that ties into that as well is what Erik Ten Hag has said about how he wants his United team to play this year. You know exactly what he said, or maybe you don't. Let me read it out for you. The message I'm sending to my players is that we want to do it in the United way. What is the United way? What is our identity? We want to be really successful in that particular style. So we looked into the history of United and we really looked into the qualities of our player. And then you say it. What do we want to be? That is, we want to be the best transition team in the world. And that there is the most important point to take from all of this. The best transition team in the world. And look at the players that he's going to be playing with. Bruno Fernandes is going to have an absolute field day with a striker like Hojlund. balls that he can place perfectly weighted into areas like this, in behind the defence that Hojlund can run into. That's where the pace is going to become key and a massive asset to his game. Bruno's going to have fun. Mason will have fun. Everybody creating behind him will have fun. And that four, you know, someone who's really going to benefit from it too is Marcus Rashford. You know why? Because Rashford or Garnacho, anybody who played down that left wing for United last season, because they knew how left heavy we were, it was very easy for two defenders to just do this, right? Double up. It was very easy to double up on Man United's left winger. And it kind of made us a little bit, it nullified our threat a bit because we didn't have that threat through the middle. Now, if they do that, then Hojlund, free as a bird. Teams will not be able to do that. Teams will not be able to double up on Rashford or Garnacho as much and as confidently as they were last season. So Rashford's game will go up. Bruno's going to get more assists. Mount will have fun too. Everybody will benefit in that team because of the presence of him. And you know what I've been thinking about? Everyone does comparisons. And while I don't like comparisons, and I'm not saying that he is the new Edinson Cavani, I'm saying stylistically, I think you'll probably look at it and go, oh, I can see similarities in terms of how he presses, how relentless he is, the sorts of movements he has, and also the movement in the box. Movement in the box is a big, big thing about Rasmus Hojlund. And I think I set it up when I did the full analysis of that this is more of his movement, runs in behind. The movement for me was one of the big, big things, right? And I compared him to Osimhen. I did all that. And I spoke about, look, he's on the shoulder of the defender. He's in the blind spot, runs through, great. But it was this example here that I personally felt was the best example of it. Him. So say, for example, this is Anthony. Maybe that's a bad comparison because Anthony isn't exactly one for swinging across in the box. This could be Dalot or Wan-Bissaka. Typically, United haven't really had that striker in a long time that's been very good at making that run to the front post. Hojlund puts all his weight one way, switches it. Defender gets caught all over the shop. He nips in, flies in with his foot and just taps it in. I say tap it in. It was a great goal. But that sort of acute movement means that you will see, what you should see anyway, is Manchester United with the overlaps that we create, if it's Wan-Bissaka, if it's Diogo Dalot, doesn't really matter, that he will therefore be on the edge of balls that we can, because he'll make those sorts of cuts and runs into these areas. And that is something that we haven't really had from a striker in a while. And that's something that will definitely give another aspect to our game, which we haven't had until the arrival of Hojlund. Now, another thing that I think is going to be quite curious to see is if we take a look at this, right? This is the possession stats from Serie A last year. You can see Atalanta are down there just under 50% of the ball. More than half of the time, well, pretty much bang on half the time, they didn't have the ball. At Manchester United, we had slightly more possession, 53.8, but that should be significantly increasing this year. Man United's ability to hold the ball, control the ball, move it around should be far, far better with Onana and inside our team. Now, the reason I'm talking about that is because Hojlund himself was and is very good at being a bit of a target man. At being that, and that's why I'm saying that I think we could see Hojlund drop into sort of these positions here to receive the ball on the chest, maybe play it off to Bruno, who can play it through to Anthony, or, you know, there's different types of options. Just don't expect him to be that out-and-out number 9. If we'd signed Victor Osimhen, that's exactly what he would have been like, but we're not. And he's going to be a bit different. And I think that's going to be an asset to his game to really bring our wingers in and create opportunities for Bruno and Mount to find the balls in behind. Another aspect that I'm really excited to see is how much Onana uses the pace of Hojlund and the balls over the top. Because we saw it in the game against Dortmund. We saw how good, I think I've got a little graph up here. There you go, perfect example. Right, we can see here, there's 2 balls in particular. Let me pull them up here. It's those 2 there. That's the wrong one. Get the circle up. Those 2 balls there, right down to Marcus Rashford twice. And look at the length of that kick. That was from his hand and also from the deck. The pace of Hojlund means that Onana is going to be able to find those sort of searching balls on the transition. Those sorts of balls out there, direct. And Hojlund is going to have the pace and the ability to get on the end of them. Now, that is not... Hoofing it long, it's not exactly the the best style of play in the world. but it gives Erik Ten Hag another option. So now you'll see Manchester United sometimes on a counter-attack. Hojlund there waiting. Onana can see it. Simply, the ball over the top, and Onana runs. And Hojlund runs into space. Maybe sometimes Onana will do it. He's a bit mad. But good mad, right? Good mad. That's another aspect of the game. It's everything. Man, we've just not had it. We've just not had a striker like Hojlund for... Honestly, write in the comments how long ago it's been. Will he take time to develop? Yep, he will do. But I believe that he will make Bruno and his final output better. Bruno should have got an absolute ton more assists last year. Mason Mount, I think, will enjoy having the runs from Hojlund. On and off him, it will create space for him. Rashford, I think, in particular, will gain from the extra space on that left wing because teams will not be able to double up because Hojlund's now a threat through the middle. I'm hoping Anthony would improve as well with the final product. Maybe start firing in some crosses that Hojlund can get on the end of. There's lots of characteristics, I think, of his game that are really going to help and improve Manchester United. And I hope I've explained there how he kind of fits into Manchester United. I expect him to operate more as a bit of a false nine than I do as a pure Harry Kane. No, Harry Kane's the opposite, actually. Harry Kane's really dropped deep. But Victor Osimhen would have been a man who hung around in a box. And if you got the ball to him, he would have scored. Hojlund will be far more involved in the build-up play, overall bringing others into play, but also, hopefully, being on the end of it as well. I think he's really going to add a lot to our attack. I can't wait to see how it goes. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. And as I said at the start of the video, if we reach 6,000 likes, I'll give away another home shirt. So if you haven't already, drop a like on the video and subscribe.